Welcome back, Bulldog TV fans. We are back for another edition of the Coach Adkins pregame show. And this week, kind of special, we're going to release this when you see it well before the game. So we'll start doing that every week, Coach, I think, from here on out. Of course, that's up to Ryan Ziegler and Simon, behind the camera. But without further ado, let's get started. Let's talk about our next week's opponent, and let's get this show started.
Sounds great.
Before we do that, there was a cool article in the News Gazette, the program series, and it was all about your family this week. Talk about what impact your family has on your coaching success and all the things that go into that as a family unit.
Yeah, I was, again, thanks to the News Gazette for that entire, Tuesday weekly series, the program that they're doing for, highlighting or spotlighting our program as a whole. And like I mentioned to them, we're getting maintenance guys involved, we're getting families involved, bus drivers, and again, I think it's just great for our community to be highlighted and kind of showcase all the behind the scenes that goes into our football program as a whole. So really appreciate those guys doing that. As far as this week's episode, it was definitely extra special for me personally because, I talk about it all the time, especially the banquet. I always, that's my one chance to get to recognize my wife especially and then certainly my kids with all their sacrifices and everything that they go to. But for them to get that recognition, now kind of out in the public and in the paper, different, areas of the state, so to speak, getting able to read that article. Again, it's just, it's extra special for me and I know more so for them as well because they deserve it. They deal with a lot during the season and they put up with a lot and have to do a lot on their own, basically. And I miss out on, Jack's soccer games and Emma's dance recitals and certainly miss out, being at home with Kelly as well. So it's tough for me. I know it's tough for them. And so again, just to show the support for them and the gratitude and again, they deserved that recognition that they got, as well as all coaches, and I have several head coaching friends in this fraternity who kind of saw that article posted this week. And again, it's nice for all head coaches, all coaches for that matter, for their families to kind of see that write up to, again, just know how much we appreciate it. And sometimes we don't get to say it enough. Like I mentioned earlier, sometimes the only time I get to say it publicly is at the banquet, and in front of our own fans. So for this to, again, hit kind of the media and spread out, throughout not only our community, but different parts of the state, again, it's awesome. And it's a way for all of us coaches to thank our wives and our family support staff at home.
Yeah, and if you folks at home haven't had a chance to check out that series, it's awesome. I mean, it's not just about football. It's really spotlights everything that goes into the program here at Mahomet-Seymour. So I think we're fortunate that they chose us in a lot of ways, and for very good reason. We're having a heck of a season so far. But let's just recap real quick. Effingham last week, 35-14. But we talked after the game, and we knew there's some film room stuff to work on. How have you brought up some of those weak points this week, and how's the team responded to some of those reactions that you've had?
Yeah, again, you're absolutely right. We had some good film to be able to show the kids on areas of improvement, and again, 35-14 win and 28-0 at one point. It's very easy to maybe overlook some finer detail stuff like that. But again, we kind of have a saying or a motto throughout our program that, everyone can learn from a loss. It's very easy to learn from a loss, but great teams learn from a win, and that's exactly what we had to do this week. And we had some great film. Again, coached up things on the whiteboard and certainly with our notes and the scouting report, and then went out and executed those corrections throughout this entire week of practice, and really feel good about the strides that we're continuing to make. Again, like I mentioned, last Friday, that I'm glad that it's only week 2 because we do still have time and room for that improvement. And again, as long as as we continue to do what we did this week, making the corrections and then going out and correcting them, I know we're just going to continue to keep getting better, and I'm extremely excited to see that.
Well, speaking of that, we're going into week 3 now. We're 2-0. First road game of the season against a pretty good, young, athletic Mount Zion team. Can you talk a little bit about Mount Zion, what kind of challenges you're looking forward to tonight?
Yeah, they're going to challenge us in many ways, there's no doubt. Whether it's the adversity of playing on the road at Mount Zion. Mahomet-Seymour hasn't won there since 2013. The hostile environment that they bring, first time for our kids on turf, first road game of the season. I could go on for days as far as that's concerned. But then Mount Zion itself, again, is going to pose some challenges. They're incredibly athletic all across the board from left to right. They have dudes that can fly, and when they catch the ball in space, they can make people miss. And again, there's a reason that they're scoring as many points as they are because of how talented they are. And again, Patrick does a great job with these guys. They're huge up front. A couple linemen got multiple D1 offers. So again, just when you think that maybe they're going to throw it to their skill kids, they're not afraid to run it between the tackles either. So again, defensively, we're going to have our hands full. There's no doubt. Again, we feel good about our game plan going into this and how we've kind of schemed some things up and kind of broke down maybe what some of their tendencies are. And we know that our kids are going to come out and execute the game plan. As far as them defensively, our offense is going to do what we do and find ways to get the balls to different people. And our offensive coordinators do a great job of scheming things up to, again, put our kids in the best position to be successful. I would say that their strong suit is once again probably their secondary as a whole. Good athletes, tall, lengthy players that again can cover pretty well. So again, we're going to do a great job with executing our game plan, moving kids around, getting them in different spots, and you'll see that on Friday night. And then again, just executing, getting off the ball. Running our feet, staying on blocks, and then finishing is going to be a big word that we use this week. Finish the drive, finish the extra point, finish the block, etc. So I feel really good, again, after our great week of practice. I feel good about our game plan, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's for the conference title. Our kids know that. They're ready for this opportunity and excited for the challenge, and I can't wait for it.
Yeah, it'll be a great test, and you said something that I didn't even realize. First, we're going for our first win on the road there since 2013, so that's definitely some whiteboard material, I'm sure. And speaking of whiteboard material, I saw in the AP poll, IHSA 5A, that we slipped a spot. Went from number 3 to number 4, I noticed yesterday. Talk about that. Use it as motivation. Do you care? Does it matter? Just talk about that, Coach.
Yeah, from a personal standpoint, I was kind of frustrated, right? To me, I don't understand how you win a game, and in my opinion, at times in a convincing fashion, and drop down a spot. That just doesn't make sense to me. But at the end of the day, what do those rankings really matter? We got to show up to play football. And again, as frustrated as I was, our kids are probably the opposite. They really don't care. They just want to keep winning. They want to win this conference title. They want to beat Mount Zion at Mount Zion. And truthfully, that's really the only thing that's on their mind. And so I don't even think I heard the kids say a word about it. That's how much that it really doesn't affect them. So I'll keep my emotions in check as far as that's concerned. But again, our kids are right from a standpoint of we got to take care of our business and keep doing what we do. And if that gets us to 1 or drops us to 10, at the end of the day, we have goals for this program for this season, and we got to keep getting better to reach those, whether it's during the regular season or then certainly into the postseason. And those AP rankings at the end of the day really don't mean that much. So yeah, I'm a little bit frustrated because we dropped to 4 after going 2-0, and it doesn't make sense. But we got to control what we can control, and that starts this Friday night against Mount Zion, a really good Mount Zion ball club. So yeah,
good point. I mean, 4 and 5A is still pretty good. We'll take it. That's going to do it for this week's edition of the Coach Adkins pregame show. Make sure tonight, if you're watching, tune into Braves TV. You can Google it. We won't be on the road this week. We might be in the future, but not this week. Braves TV, check it out, and go Bulldogs.